It's incredible how much information is just, well, swirling around us every single day, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. News alerts, online updates.
Constant new tech announcements.
Yeah.
It can feel pretty overwhelming trying to figure out what's really important.
How it all fits together.
Exactly. And that's precisely why we're here. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take the resources you've shared with us and, really distill the core knowledge.
Cut through the noise, basically. We
Yeah.
sift through what you've given us, pinpoint the crucial stuff, and explain why it matters.
And today, we're diving into something absolutely fundamental: information and communication technology, ICT.
The big one.
Huge. You've provided a great presentation covering, well, everything from the basics of ICT, why it's so important, how it links to things like IT and data.
And those really transformative innovations we're seeing.
Right. So our mission today is to give you a really clear, insightful grasp of ICT, its building blocks, its impact, all tailored for learning quickly and thoroughly. Ready?
Let's do it. So maybe start with the basics. What is ICT, according to the source?
Okay. So the presentation defines it as the integration of digital tools, networks, and services. Essentially, all the digital things we use to handle information.
Processing it, storing it, sending it.
Exactly. And the core components listed are, well, computers, obviously, the internet, telecommunications like mobile networks, and all the software apps we use constantly.
And the presentation really stresses its importance, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. It highlights how it enhances global connectivity and communication, which, we see that every day.
We really do, connecting across the globe instantly.
But it's more than just chatting, right? The source points to improving business efficiency too, productivity.
Precisely. Optimizing workflows, automation, it's the backbone of modern business. And then there's its role in education, healthcare, commerce.
E-commerce, yeah. Massive.
Huge. It facilitates all of that. And fundamentally, it's what's driving digital transformation and innovation everywhere.
Which leads to a key point in the presentation. Digital literacy isn't just nice to have anymore.
It's essential. Absolutely essential in the modern world.
The source also touches on how ICT enables things like global e-commerce and digital marketing specifically.
Right. Through digital platforms, remote work, which has exploded, and, of course, social media. It's all interconnected.
Okay, so that gives us a good handle on ICT and its importance. Now, the presentation also makes a point of distinguishing ICT from IT. That can be a bit fuzzy for people.
It's a common point of confusion, but yeah, an important distinction. Information technology, IT, is focused more on the nuts and bolts,
White.
like the hardware, the software, the networks, and data management within an organization. Think cybersecurity, keeping data safe, or managing databases.
So IT is the infrastructure, the systems themselves.
Pretty much, yeah. Now, ICT, it includes all of that IT stuff, but it's broader.
Right.
It integrates telecommunications, how we transmit info remotely, digital communication, media tech. So IC2 is the bigger umbrella. IT sits underneath it.
Got it. IT is a vital piece inside the larger ICT picture. That clarifies things nicely. So let's dig a bit deeper. The presentation talks about data, a word we hear constantly.
All the time. And the source defines it simply as information in its raw, unprocessed form. Facts, stats, measurements, observations. Just the raw values collected.
Like raw ingredients you said before you cook them.
That's a great way to think about it. On its own, raw data often doesn't mean much. It needs organizing, interpreting, processing, essentially, to become useful information.
And the presentation mentions data signals in phones.
Just briefly touches on it, yeah, the transmission and reception of that raw info.
Okay, and underlying a lot of this communication is TCP/IP. Sounds technical.
It is a bit behind the scenes, but it's absolutely critical. It stands for Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. The presentation calls it the core communication rulebook for the Internet and most networks.
The language computers use to talk online.
Basically, yes, a defined language. IP, the Internet Protocol part, handles the addressing and routing, making sure data packets get to the right place.
Like the digital address on an envelope.
Exactly. And TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, is about reliable delivery. It breaks data into packets, makes sure they all arrive, checks for errors, and puts them back together in the right order.
So IP finds the house, TCP makes sure the whole package gets inside safely and in order.
That's a good analogy. And the key thing TCP/IP does is allow different computers, different hardware, different operating systems to all talk to each other seamlessly online. It's the universal standard.
Speaking of operating systems, the presentation covers those too. We use them constantly, but maybe don't think about what they're doing.
Right. The OS, or operating system, is that core software managing all the computer's hardware and software resources. It's the go-between for the user and the machine.
The manager, basically.
Precisely. The presentation outlines its main jobs. First, resource management, handling the CPU, memory, disk drives, printers, all that physical stuff. Then file management, organizing and accessing stored data, keeping everything tidy.
Yeah.
Also process management, that's managing all the programs running at the same time, multitasking.
Right.
And providing the user interface, how we interact, whether it's a graphical one with icons or a command line. And finally, security, protecting data and resources.
And we know the common examples: Windows, Linux.
Android on phones, iOS on iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bottom line from the source is, without an OS, a computer is basically a doorstop. It makes the hardware usable.
Okay, OS is the manager. What about the actual doing? Transforming data, that's processing.
Correct. Processing is manipulating or transforming that raw data into meaningful information. And the presentation emphasizes this is a core function, mainly done by the CPU, the central processing unit.
Input, do work, output.
That's the simple version, yes. Input data, the CPU does its thing processing, and you get output, the useful information. Examples given include arithmetic, logical decisions, changing data formats, signal processing for audio, video.
And it happens everywhere, not just big computers.
Exactly. Phones, tablets, even robots are constantly processing information.
Got it. Now, something called utilitaires was mentioned. Sounds French.
It is French for utility. In computing, a utility program or utilitaire is software designed to help manage, maintain, or control computer resources, usually to improve performance. Like disk cleanup tools, antivirus software, file compressors like WinRAR or 7-zip backup programs.
Ah, the little helper tools that keep things running smoothly?
Exactly. System maintenance assistance. Now, this naturally leads us to the big duo, hardware and software.
Right, can't have one without the other. The physical versus the non-physical.
Perfect description. Hardware is the physical stuff, the parts you can touch. The presentation lists categories. Input devices, keyboard, mouse, mic. Output devices, monitor, printer, speakers. Storage hard drives, SSDs, USB sticks. And internal components, the CPU, RAM, that's the short-term memory, motherboard, power supply.
All the bits inside the box or connected to it, and software.
Software is the non-physical part. The programs, the instructions telling the hardware what to do. The source breaks it into two main types.
Okay.
System software, this runs the hardware itself. Operating systems like Windows and Linux are the prime examples.
Right, the essential stuff.
And then application software. These are the programs we, the users, interact with for specific tasks. Microsoft Word, Chrome, WhatsApp, games.
Gotcha. Hardware touchable, software instructions. Makes sense. So where does all the data live? Storage devices.
Exactly. The hardware components for storing digital data, either temporarily or permanently, they differ in speed, capacity, and how they're used.
The presentation breaks them down, right? Primary, secondary.
Yes. Primary storage is temporary, fast, but volatile data disappears when the power's off. RAM, random access memory, is the key example. It's the computer's active workspace.
Okay, like a scratch pad.
Good analogy. Then secondary storage is for long-term storage. Slower, but persistent data stays when the power's off. Like HDDs, hard disk drives, spinning disks, big capacity, cheaper. SSDs, solid-state drives, much faster, more durable, no moving parts. And SSHDs, hybrid drives, kind of a mix of both.
And stuff we carry around.
Right. External or portable storage. USB flash drives, small, handy for transfers. External hard drives, bigger capacity, good for backups. Memory cards like SD cards in cameras and phones.
And CDS DVDs.
The presentation mentions them optical storage using lasers, but notes they're becoming less common now.
Okay, that covers the building blocks. Now, the really exciting part, I think the key ICT innovations that have just completely changed things.
Yeah, the presentation lists some major game changers, starting with, well, the internet, the global network connecting everything.
Its impact is just hard to overstate.
That's absolutely. Instant communication, information access, e-commerce, social media, it enabled all of that. Then, mobile technology, smartphones, tablets.
Powerful computers in our pockets.
Exactly. Portable computing, constant connectivity, making information and apps accessible anywhere, anytime.
Tied into that is wireless, right?
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, 4G, 5G.
Crucial, cutting the cords. Enabling internet access without cables supports mobility, remote work, and the whole Internet of Things IoT.
All those smart devices talking to each other.
Precisely. Then there's cloud computing.
not actual clouds.
No. Delivering services, storage, software over the internet reduces the need for physical infrastructure, enables remote access, collaboration. It's huge. Artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning are also highlighted.
The buzzwords of the moment.
For good reason. Computers simulating human intelligence, powering smart assistants, automation, personalized online experiences, data analysis. It's transforming industries.
And social media platforms.
Tools for online interaction, Facebook, Instagram, etc. The source notes, they've changed communication, marketing, even news sharing fundamentally.
For sure. Video conferencing tools too. Zoom, Teams.
They became essential, didn't they? Especially recently. Enabled remote learning, virtual meetings, global teamwork like never before.
Yeah. What about big data?
Right, managing and analyzing these enormous data sets. The presentation says it helps businesses make informed decisions, target customers, optimize services. It's incredibly valuable.
And with all this digital activity, security is key.
Absolutely critical. Cybersecurity technologies, tools to protect data and networks. Essential for privacy, online banking, safe communication. You need it.
Okay, so those are the big ICT innovations. The presentation then looks even further ahead to highly advanced technology.
Yeah, the real cutting edge. Defined as innovations offering totally new capabilities or massive improvements, driving progress across the board. It also uses the term advanced technology for the latest sophisticated stuff that improves efficiency or performance, often solving complex problems.
What makes something advanced according to the source?
Several characteristics. It's innovative new concepts, efficient saves time, energy, cost, improved performance faster, more accurate, better user experience, and often complex needs specialized knowledge.
And specific examples?
AI comes up again, focusing on human-like tasks.
Yeah.
Learning, reasoning, problem solving. Then quantum computing.
Sounds futuristic.
It kind of is. Using quantum mechanics for computation could tackle problems impossible for current computers, like drug discovery or breaking complex codes.
Wow.
5G technology is listed 5th-gen mobile networks, super fast speeds, blockchain technology too.
Crypto tech.
Underpins crypto, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
broader. A decentralized, secure ledger for transactions. Useful for supply chains, contracts, not just currency.
Interesting.
Nanotechnology manipulating matter at the atomic level. For new materials, drug delivery, better solar panels, robotics and automation, autonomous machines in factories, surgery.
We see more robots all the time.
We do. Drone technology, RPVs, remote pilot vehicles, unmanned aircraft controlled remotely or flying themselves using GPS and sensors, and biotechnology using biology for solutions like gene editing or personalized medicine.
It's an amazing range of powerful technologies. Now, the presentation kind of brings it back to the listener at the end.
It does. It directly suggests thinking about enhancing your financial situation by proposing new features or ideas for existing ICT innovations.
Interesting angle.
Yeah, and it links success there to mental capacity, critical thinking, intelligence. It encourages you, the listener, to pick an ICT area you find interesting and start your own research.
Which fits perfectly with wanting those aha knowledge moments.
Exactly. It's an invitation to engage actively.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive today, we've covered a lot. We defined ICT, its components, its importance. We distinguish it from IT.
Right. We looked at foundational stuff like data, TCP/IP, operating systems, processing, utilities.
Then the hardware-software dynamics, storage options, and those huge ICT innovations like the internet, mobile, cloud, AI.
And finally, a peek at those advanced technologies shaping the future, quantum, 5G, biotech, and more.
The goal here was really to give you that solid foundation based on the source material provided, to connect the dots and hopefully spark some more curiosity.
Exactly. Making sense of the landscape as presented in the sources.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Consider how fast ICT and these advanced technologies are moving. What's an application that seems maybe impossible now, but building on all this, you think could actually become real in, say, the next 10 years?
Something to ponder.
Definitely. We encourage you to keep exploring, keep thinking about where all this might lead.